Ladies and gentlemen, are there any gentlemen? Hi. Man, okay. I would like to thank, first of all, thank the Portuguese Platform for Women's Rights and their partners here for inviting Kvinnefronten to this important seminar regarding the project EXIT, Human Rights of Women Not to be Prostituted. And thank you also for choosing Kvinnefronten as your project's external partner. My colleague Hilde Bjørnstad and I are really impressed with what you have accomplished. And you will soon see that women globally will benefit from your results. Thank you. Since I'm also a member of the board of Space International, I have been asked by you to give an overview of the advocacy work of Space International, its mission to eradicate all forms of sexual exploitation against women and girls. First, I will give you an overview of what sort of an NGO Space is. Space was first formed in Ireland in 2011 by Irish survivors of prostitution for the purpose of changing social attitudes towards prostitution and to press for its recognition as a sexually exploitative human rights violation. In 2013, the decision was taken to expand the group internationally and to take on representatives from all corners of the world. All of the representatives of Space have lived experiences of the sex trade, and many of them have extensive experiences of frontline work in combating prostitution and offering exit services to prostituted women and girls. All of its members are outspoken public abolitionist activists pressing for the abolitionist Nordic model of prostitution legislation in their own regions of the world. The member decided in 2015 to register Space International as an official NGO with office in New York and appointed Rachel Moran as executive director. She is based in Dublin, Ireland. Yes. Rachel Moran is the founding member of Space International and also the author of the book Paid For: My Journey Through Prostitution, a book that now are translated to several languages. Space is formed to give voice to women who have survived the abusive reality of prostitution and includes members from France, Denmark, Germany, Ireland, Canada, Australia, South Africa, the US, and the UK. I myself are an abolitionist activist. I'm a member of Space Board, appointed treasurer. The acronyms of Space, SPACE, stands for Survivors of Prostitution Abuse Calling for Enlightenment. Space says, we call for enlightenment because before we can expect social change, prostitution must be recognized for the abuse that it is. In Space's own words, we are calling for political recognition of prostitution as sexually abusive exploitation, and as a response, we are calling for criminalization of the demand for paid sexual access to human beings. We advocate for the implementation of the abolitionist Nordic model, which will decriminalize prostituted persons, criminalize those who exploit them, and provide viable exit strategies, including support with housing, childcare, healthcare, financial services, etc. Prostitution is a highly gendered human right violation. There is an estimate of 40 million people in prostitution worldwide. The overwhelming majority are women and girls. For centuries, we have been arresting the wrong people. Prostitution exists because of the demand for it. The time has come to criminalize demand. Throughout the years, UN, CEDAW, and the NGO forums have been a meeting place for thousands of women, and many space members have given testimonies at the General Assemblies and hosted and taken part in numerous debates there. The UN Charter, the 1949 Convention, the CEDAW Convention, and the Palermo Protocol are important tools, and the abolitionist Nordic model is the natural next step. Shall we be able to curb the demand and stop the exploitation of women? That is the ideological framework, so to say, of space. Now I will give you an overview of the activities that we have been carrying out. And I will give you we talk from the report of the International Activity 2021-2022. 1. The webinar, we are all talking about webinars in 2021, the webinar Black Women Against Sex Trade is highlighting Black women's voices from across US and South Africa and detailing the particular historical and current cultural context of Black women's overrepresentation in prostitution. 2. In US, here the webinar, What Massachusetts Need to Know About Prostitution, was specially targeting Massachusetts politicians and policymakers. Here, Space partnered with Eve Center in Boston, and the webinar had inputs from survivors and activists at the local, national, and international level. Space's role was to coordinate activists and survivors from legislatively diverse regions of the world. 3. Also in US, Space is endorsing now and supporting the campaign Taking on Pornography, Developing Resilience and Resistance Through Sex Education. The space partner here is the US-based Culture Reframe, Gail Dines. Space aim is to explore the links between prostitution, pornography, and how those entwinements are becoming increasingly difficult to observe as websites like OnlyFans are becoming more mainstream. 4. United Kingdom, the Hope campaign, Hope, expunging women's criminal records in Britain. This campaign has already secured one woman's right to have her criminal convictions in prostitution expunged, and the campaign is now pressing to have this legal judgment rolled out to all formerly prostituted women nationwide in UK. Space lent its support here to the campaign through the Center for Women's Justice. Look it up, Center for Women's Justice. 5, in Italy, Space is involved in developing tools for an Italian project specifically focusing on sex trafficking from Nigeria into Italy. Space has secured the funding and enlisted the services of mixed Irish and Italian research team. 6, very interesting. A John-related research project is currently being developed by Space. It will examine the behavior of Johns, the men, the buyers, before and after the behavior, the buying, is criminalized. and the countries that will take part, that will be observed, will be is decided, but is not official yet. 7, France. In November, from mid-November this month, tomorrow, Rachel Moran's French translation of her book will be launched. Space and other French partners, including the LUNI, where Candide comes from, including local survivors, will visit several French cities and also end up in Belgium, in Brussels. 9, South Korea. Collaboration with the feminists there will start in virtual. They will go to South Korea. 10, the last one, Space Lebanon. Space has contributed to a series of online events in Lebanon involving voices of international survivors, as Lebanon has no national survivor movement at the moment. Concluding from this, space mission globally. I have forgotten one very important country, sorry, I hop back. South Africa. Here, Space will be involved in a series of webinars to raise awareness of the harms of the South African sex trade. The webinar will target specific audiences as legislators and policymakers, as building and elevating the South African survivors movement. Yes. So, space mission globally is to strengthen survivors' movement, changing the public perception of prostitution, and perusing the abolitionist Nordic model in law. I hope you will follow Space International on social media, and also feel free to contact Space International for further information and contact. And thank you for your attention. Thank you.